Hey guys, Matt's here from our channel called Team Krieger,
Hey guys, Neil Axel here from our show called Team Krueger.
and today we're gonna start Team Krieger reaction video, episode 406. Yes, so this video is actually from Duffy Fox Gotcha Animation 45. And just so you guys know which video you want us to have your channel, leave a link for that video you want us to have your channel, and give you a shout out. Yep, so shout out to Duffy Fox Gotcha Animation 45. So let's see this. Okay, so this video is actually called Two Disturbing KFC Horror Stories Animated. So let's see this.
One of the first jobs I had was at KFC. When it comes to the experience working there and the staff, everything was amazing. But something happened to me shortly after I got hired. Something so terrible that it made me quit my job and stay away from that place forever. But let us start from the beginning. I was a young, hopeful teen. I just finished high school, and instead of thinking about parties and having fun, I had a different agenda. I wanted to have my own money. I wanted to be independent. My parents always supported me, but I felt I was old enough to do something for myself. As I was searching for a job, I saw an ad in the newspaper. It seemed that a KFC opened in the next town and they were in need of staff. It was just a 20-minute drive, so I wouldn't mind commuting. Surely enough, I gave them a call. The ad said they do not require experience, so I knew I was a shoo-in. The manager was the one who picked up the phone. He seemed really nice and answered any questions I had. "Do you think you can come swing by tomorrow at 9 a.m. for a formal interview?" David, the manager, asked me. I said it will not be a problem, and the next morning, there I was. Of course, I was sweating bullets, but his calm demeanor made me feel comfortable. After a few minutes of standard questions, I heard the magic words. "When can you start?" Right away," I replied, with a wide smile on my face. Finally, I was about to earn my own money, and I would grasp the independence I dreamed about. David laughed. "I like your enthusiasm. How about you start tomorrow?" he said while shaking my hand.
Picked a great name, but your voice doesn't quite match it?
We have a fix.
VoiceMod gives you over 150.
I was all set and done. I was a KFC employee. A professional career started about 22 hours after the interview. I showed up the next day, ready to give it my all. Everything went amazing for the first 2 days. I did my job, people were coming in all the time, and we had a pretty cool atmosphere among ourselves. Of course, that would not last. It was the third day. "Hey, David, what is going on outside?" I asked him, hearing some ruckus in front of the store as I was cooking the chicken in the back. "Some protesters, they're trying to boycott us. They said our restaurant was built on top of a burial ground dedicated to the first settlers that arrived in this area when there wasn't anything here but trees and wildlife." The two of us went to the front of the store to see exactly what people were saying. There were about 20 angry citizens with signs that said, "Ban the corporations."
Looks like they're going on
Of course,
strike,
it
like they're
didn't
trying to
sit well
protest
with me.
KFC.
I asked David if anything
Yeah, I mean, it looks
illegal
like
had been
it.
done so that the store could be built, but he told me that all of the memorials had been moved to the other side of town, so everything was in order. We went back to work, but ever since that day, things started to change. It was like all our energy was slowly but surely being sucked out of us. You may call it fatigue, but that wasn't the case. Each night, as I was driving home, I felt like I was about to pass out at the wheel. I didn't think it was something serious. I started drinking coffee even though I never had it before. It still didn't help. After about 2 weeks in, one evening, David and I stayed late. He had some work to do in his office and I volunteered to clean up the kitchen. At around 1 a.m., I heard something in the dining area. I knew that the door was closed and I personally put a sign on the door. I put down the brush that I had in my right hand and went to see what was going on. The sound I heard resembled a chair falling on the floor, but as I got there, everything was in order. Then, I went into David's office. "Hey, Were you in the dining area just now? No, I'm pretty swamped here. David responded without taking his eyes off of some files he was reviewing. I returned to my station and continued to scrub. Another sound caught my attention. I was sure that David was playing a prank on me. I returned to the dining area and again, nothing was out of order. I went into his office and asked him again, and as I did that, another sound came from the same area. But this time, David was in front of me, so it couldn't be him. Did you hear that? Yeah, it seemed like something fell on the floor, he said while getting up from his chair. He thought that maybe some of the protesters broke into the KFC, but when we got into the dining area, nothing. All of a sudden, the lights went off. Both of us looked around, and then the lights went on again, and then off, and then on. This continued for about 2 minutes. It was pretty spooky, I'm not gonna lie. David went to check out the fuse box. I remained in the middle of the dining area. Ah! I heard. It was David. Something happened to him. I rushed over there in the back of the store. He was sitting in a corner on the floor in the fetal position. What happened? Are you okay? I asked, but he wasn't looking at me. He was looking over my shoulder. I turned around, and as I did, I saw a face. It was a man looking right at me from the shadows.
What the heck?
You? I asked while taking a step back. He didn't respond. Instead, he opened his mouth very wide. His skin stretched more than it was humanly possible. A loud shriek came out, forcing me to cover my ears. The sound was so disturbing that I fell to my knees. The man then came out of the shadows and slowly glided
What the heck
toward me.
is that?
I looked down at his feet, but they weren't there. His
It looks like
body
a man
ended at the
with his
knees.
inside out body
Eyes were
on the
fixed on
outside
his.
and stuff.
My heart started
looks like it
beating out of my
melted.
chest, and I felt
Yeah.
a freezing gust of wind going through me.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
when
a
I try to
ghost.
see it, it looks like
I
his
was sure
insides
of
are
it.
out.
The
Yeah,
shrieking
literally. Oh my
didn't
god.
stop. The ghost
Half of
got
his
close
legs
to
are
me,
gone
and in the
too.
blink of an eye, he flew
What?
right through my chest. And
Did
after
he just
that,
I threw up?
everything went
It's a
black.
ghost?
I woke up a few minutes later.
That's just
The
weird.
lights were
Even
on.
like a spirit
I
or
looked
where it
behind me
is.
and saw David
Yeah.
in the same position. He refused to get up. I called an ambulance and they took him to the hospital. David recovered after several sessions with a therapist. I resigned the next day, but still kept in touch with other employees.
Yvonne is my little Pookie Bear. We're in Arknut's Enfield and we're checking Yvonne out. Respectfully, of course. I know I say
Did you enjoy the first story? If you did, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. Oh, if you want your broccoli to be served fresh, then don't forget to hit the bell icon. Keep munching.
I dragged myself to KFC to get something to eat before I went to sleep. It had been a long day. I had 2 projects to submit at school earlier and I was able to finish them just at the nick of time. Now, my brain and my body were exhausted. It was a little after 6 o'clock and there was still quite a few people inside KFC. I ordered chicken and chips and started to eat my meal in silence. 3 other tables were occupied aside from mine. A couple sat at one and the remaining 2 had a guy and a woman sitting there. The couple left when I was halfway into my meal and it was just 3 of us left in the restaurant. Soon enough, the other 2 people left, leaving just me. I finished the last of my chips and stood up. I noticed there was a wallet on the floor. The man must have dropped it. I shrugged, thinking it was none of my business. I thought of my comfortable bed at home and couldn't wait to get it. With heavy steps, I got to the door and turned the knob. It was locked. I frowned and tried again.
Oh, she's
It
trapped.
was still locked. I rattled the handle,
Oh,
starting
oh,
to get
dang.
scared.
Definitely, that's just messed up.
I shouted, hoping the waiter would hear me. Your door is locked! There was no response, and I sighed before making my way behind the counter. There was no one there. I walked through the
Looks
door
like she's stuck
that
inside the
said
KFC.
employees only and
Yeah,
glanced
looks like it.
around furtively. Hello? I said again. I heard a door creak and jumped, my heart beating fast. Is someone there? I whispered, my voice breaking. I saw a movement behind a door and walked carefully towards it. I opened the door slowly and my mouth dropped open in shock. I screamed as I took in the scene before me.
What
There
the?
was
Oh my
someone on the
gosh!
table and the person
There's a
was
bunch of
cut
dead
open.
bodies!
There was a lot of blood everywhere. The waiter was standing beside the table where the person was laid on, his gloved hands
Oh, that's
soaked in
disgusting.
blood. I recognized the person on the table as the woman that just left before I did. The waiter lunged for me. I turned on my heels and ran. I figured that screaming
That guy's a
wasn't the
maniac.
best option for me, so I kept quiet and
Yeah, what are you
ran
doing?
in
You
the
sick
opposite
and
direction of the
freak!
restaurant area. I had a few seconds head start, so I used that to my advantage. I could hear him behind me.
I mean, this is
I
definitely
took a turn to the
cannibalism!
right that
It
made him
is.
lose sight of me for a moment. I opened a door on my left and dashed in, closing it silently. It was a storage room, filled with mops and other cleaning equipment. I covered my mouth with my hand, trying to stifle the sound of my panting. He came down the hallway fast and suddenly stopped. Does he know where I am? There was no way to see him through the door. I trembled when I heard a door opening. I know you're in here, he said, opening another door. I looked around for anything I could use as a weapon. It was only a matter of time before he opened this door too. I saw a jug of bleach on the floor and quickly carried it, unscrewing the cap. I grabbed the mop just in case. He opened the door next to mine and I steeled myself. The door handle got turned slowly and my mind went blank. I believed this was the day I was going to die. No one would ever know what had happened to me. As soon as the door opened, I tossed the contents of bleach on him. It got in his eyes and he collapsed on his knees yelling. His eyes were shut tightly and his hands were trying to reach out for me. Bitch! He swore. I whacked his head with the mop and scuttled out of the room. I was very determined not to die. I ran back into the restaurant and tried to open the door again. God! I was sobbing now. The adrenaline coursing through me before was gone. My hands were shaking and I couldn't stop.
Break for the
eating.
glass!
I rammed the mop into the door.
Yeah, do it. We
didn't
wanted to get
even
out of this
crack.
building
It
easily.
wouldn't stop. I'm not going to die, I kept muttering to myself. I haven't lived a life I was happy of. I was the second of 3 children, the only girl. I chose a university in Detroit because I wanted to be away from my overbearing parents. It wasn't like I had achieved anything. At the age of 21, my academics were nothing to write home about. That was why I wanted to kill myself on the last projects I submitted. Having good grades in them would help boost my CGPA. I stopped banging the mop on the door. There was a crack. I sobbed in relief and raised my hands to keep banging it. I paused.
We are gardeners.
We are farmers. Bum 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 bum.
There was a man outside, his wide eyes staring into mine. Before I could cry for help, something collided into me from behind. The waiter covered my mouth. He slapped my face and kept yelling into my face. Everything was going well until you appeared, he yelled and slapped me again. I stopped screaming. My jaw was in so much pain. Please, I said through my tears. He responded by yanking my hair and slamming my head to the floor. My struggles became weaker, and I found it difficult to raise my hands. I didn't want to die, but it seemed I was failing at that too. Before my eyes closed, I heard the sound of glass breaking.
Take this, you maniac!
What the hell? Said a stranger's voice. That was the last thing I heard before my eyes rolled back in my head and my world went dark. I didn't die, but I was in a lot of pain. My jaw hurt terribly and my face was swollen. I was told I had been unconscious for 2 days. Someone came to visit me, and I
Dang,
recognized
2
him
days?
as the man from KFC
Yeah, that was a
that
coma.
left before me. His name was Steve. He said that he came back for his wallet when he noticed that he dropped it. That was when he saw me trying to shatter the glass. He called the police, but they were taking such a long time that he decided to come inside. He found a way to break the glass and managed to stop the waiter from killing me. He is a psycho. Apparently, he got kicked out of some doctor's school, but still wanted to prove himself. He had been practicing on the people that came into KFC whenever he was on the night shift. I swallowed and thanked him. My name is Julia, and I'm deeply grateful. Steve smiled at me and told me to be careful before he left. I swore to myself that from that moment, I would start living my life the way I wanted to.
Dang, those are insane horror stories at KFC.
Yeah, that was seriously messed up.
Yeah, very. Well, anyways, make sure to comment below, like, and subscribe.